Hey guys, and welcome back to Cruising with Matthew. So, Happy New Year to everyone, and I can't believe it's 2020. But seeing as it is a new year, I figured I would start a new series. So, this is going to be all about the general aspects of cruising, ranging from embarkation to what sea days are like and everything else in between. I figured this would be quite useful for some people because when I went on Britannia, I hadn't been cruising for about 6 years, and I felt like I knew nothing about cruising, and I figured doing a few videos talking about the various aspects of cruising and the processes involved might make it a bit easier for some people, so I really hope that you enjoy this video. Now, my first video is going to be all about embarkation. Now, the first thing that I would urge anyone to consider when they are driving to a port, if they are based in the UK, is that they need to consider the length of time it takes to get there. This may seem like I'm stating the obvious, but if you have a long journey, such as we are based in Yorkshire, so to get from Yorkshire to Southampton can take around 4 or 5 hours with service station stops. Now, I like to go the day before our cruise purely due to the fact I'm not worried thinking that I'm going to be late to board the ship. And there are some very good hotels in Southampton with a range of options from budget to high-end luxury, so I think it is a very good thing to do prior to starting your cruise. Now, irrespective of arriving the day before or arriving on the day, you will board the ship exactly the same. It's important before you leave the house, however, to make sure you have your important travel documents. So this may be things like your passport as well as your e-ticket, which tends to be issued a few weeks before. You also need to make sure that any luggage has the luggage tags, which tend to show the port of embarkation, obviously Southampton in my instance, as well as what deck and what room you are in. Now, upon arrival in the port, you will see the ship, and in my opinion, they always blow my mind how big they are. I may have seen tons of videos of the ship, but nothing compares to seeing the ship for the first time, knowing that you're going to be on her for several weeks, for instance, and it is such an exciting feeling. So I'm near enough jumping up and down with joy, taking as many pictures as I can as I approach the port. However, excitement aside, you've got to make sure that you get on the ship. Now, you'll be told several weeks before which terminal you are meant to go on. Now, they are very well signposted, so just make sure that you look up online to see what sat-nav instructions to put on, and you will get there in plenty of time. Now, you are also issued a embarkation time, depending on the size of ship. It is preferable to arrive at your embarkation time, because if everyone disregarded it and you had 3,000 plus people arriving into the terminal at the same time, it would be absolute chaos. However, if you are travelling down on the day, do not worry if you arrive in plenty of time because the traffic wasn't as bad as you thought. They will not reject you from arriving into the terminal, but do not expect to board early. So do be prepared to wait, and you never know, if it is quieter you may be able to board quicker than you anticipated, but that is not a certainty. So once you've arrived at the terminal, porters will come and take your bags, and the next time that you see them will be on the ship. So once your luggage has been taken away, then if you have booked car parking, then representatives from the company will come and drive your car away, and the next time you see that will be at the end of your cruise. Now, you walk into the terminal, and depending on which one, this may involve going up a set of escalators or going straight into the terminal, and you are given an embarkation number. You are then guided to an airport-style seating area where you can sit down and relax, and the speed at which you embark really depends on what cabin type you have. So if you've booked a suite, for example, you tend to enjoy priority embarkation, or if you have a high tier of a cruise line. So some loyalty benefits do include priority embarkation. When your embarkation number is called, you then need to proceed to the check-in desk. You have the typical formalities of checking your passport, your e-ticket to make sure that everything is in order, and then you have a picture taken and you are given your cruise card as well as a little map of the ship. The cruise card is essential on a cruise ship because it is your way of getting on and off the ship, your cabin or room key, as well as your essentially cruise debit card, and what they will try and do is link up at least one debit card with your cruise cards to ensure that you can buy things on the ship. Now, these are really sensitive to demagnetizing when next to objects such as your phone, so try and keep them in separate pockets, for instance, or wear a lanyard like I do. You then have to go through security and make sure all the formalities are done there, and once that happens, you board the ship. And if you do have limited mobility, throughout the terminal there are staff happy to help you. Once you finally make your way through the maze of the gangways, you board the ship. And this is such an exciting moment, and I love almost pausing whilst I go from the gangway onto the ship for the very first time. Security on the ship will scan your card in for the first time, and they will double check that everything is okay, and then you're on the ship. Now, this is where the real fun bit begins. I tend to always be really hungry, so make your way up to the buffet and have something to eat, and then explore the ship before you get to go and see your cabin. And it's just a really fun day. So although you're massively excited about starting your cruise and you want to explore all the facilities, drink all the cocktails and eat all the food, you have to attend the muster drill. Now, the muster drill is essentially the maritime variant of a fire drill and is really important. Now, this will typically consist of you potentially having to bring your life jackets to a public area, and the area in which your muster station is designated on the side of your cabin door as well as on the life jackets. Do note, however, that cruise lines don't always require you to bring your life jackets, but this will all be made aware of you by the bridge officers prior to the muster drill being carried out. They tend to give you a warning so you can go back to your cabin. Now, the muster drill starts with a very loud alarm, which consists of 7 short blasts and 1 continuous blast. And once you hear this, you have to go to your muster station. When you arrive there, your cruise card will be scanned in so people know that you have attended the muster drills. Then you will be given a safety briefing by the captain or senior officers over the tannoy. There will be a multitude of crew dotted around the ship, highlighting the evacuation routes, as well as demonstrating how to put on life jackets and things like that. The safety information that they give is really important, so try and listen. I know everyone is super excited and wanting to start their holiday, but it is really important. Now, the sail away from your embarkation port is such a happy, excitable atmosphere, and you typically have the entertainment team dancing on deck, giving it their all, and it's such a fun experience. What I really enjoy, though, is if you have any other ships in the embarkation port with you, because you typically have a horn battle, and this is definitely the case if the ships are part of the same company. Like, I was on P&O Azura, and we saw P&O Britannia, and we had a right little horn battle, as well as when I was on Aurora, we saw Cunard's Queen Mary too, and I have to say her horn is very loud, so if you ever hear her, you will definitely know it's Queen Mary too. Once you've sailed out of the port, you can get ready for your first night on board, and that will involve a fantastic meal in the main dining room or buffet, plenty of bars to explore, and loads of entertainment to enjoy. The embarkation day is not a stressful experience in my opinion. I have always gone through it and thought it's been a really well-rehearsed, smooth process from arriving at the port to settling into your cabin. I don't know how everyone does it because it is such a logistical nightmare, but somehow the cruise lines pull it off near enough without a hitch every single day. So that is my video on embarkation day. So I really hope that you found this useful, and if you have any further questions, please comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. If you've enjoyed this video, take a look at some of the other things on my channel, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, as I post on them every day. So this is Cruising with Matthew, and thank you so much for watching.